Hello friends. It has been a while. It is 2026, which is so weird. Last year was an absolute fever dream. There were a few good things that happened, but I think for the most part, I can solidly say that we are all happy to have moved on. No one has been having an excellent time as of late. Normally at the beginning of the new year, I post a video. I've been doing the 10-year TBR challenge. In 2025, I don't think I read a single book from my 10-year TBR. Pretty sure I completely failed that challenge. I did read Les Mis, but that is actually the only one that was on that list. So yes, it's safe to say that there is not going to be a 10-year TBR video coming out. Instead, I would like to just start chipping away at my physical TBR to sort of combat the number of books that I've been bringing in over the last year, not going on a book buying ban, because why would I stop myself from doing something that brings me insurmountable joy? I love having a lot of unread books because that means that I have a lot of books to choose from, and I love to curate my own personal library, especially in the age that we are currently in, where books are being banned left and right. I like to have a lovely supply of books in my home that I can choose from if I so wish. That being said, I do want to start chipping away at the books that I own and bringing in less books than I'm reading, if that makes sense. That is my goal for 2026. That scared me. You okay?
I forgot he was in here.
Oh, should I come pick him up? Anyways, I thought it'd be fun to start off the new year doing a little vloggy vlog, just to sort of get back in the swing of things, and we'll see how it goes. Before we go, I do want to show you some of the books that I have picked up with my Christmas money. I actually have a few more that are not here yet that are set to arrive in the mail. They've kind of been coming like one day at a time. I'm not planning on buying any more books for a couple of months. I'm locking in on reading my physical TBR. The first book that I got with my book money is Our Hideous Progeny by C.E. McGill. This is like a Frankenstein. It's not a retelling, but it's almost like a sequel. It follows Frankenstein's granddaughter. She, I believe, is a paleontologist, and she discovers her grandfather, Victor Frankenstein's notes from when he was making his creature, and she's like, I think I could do that. But because she's a paleontologist, I believe it takes on a rather prehistoric vibe. It's gothic, and I believe that it is queer. I've been really obsessed with Frankenstein. I read it a couple months ago, and it has just lived rent-free in my mind ever since. Hey, sweet boy. There's a baby boy in my lap. Hey, good boy. The next book, The September House by Carissa Orlando. From what I know, this is a haunted house book, except the lady who lives in the haunted house, she knows that her house is haunted, but she refuses to leave. She is like, I bought this house and I'm gonna stay here, and I don't care if these ghosts think they can haunt me because this is my house. Screw you. But then I think something happens, like her husband goes missing, and then her daughter shows up, but her daughter doesn't know that the house is haunted, and there's just like a bunch of chaos. But I am a slut for a haunted house book, so that's all I know, and that's all I need to know. The next book that I got is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. This paperback, oh my god, it's gorgeous, it's thick, listen to it. Hello? It smells like glue. But that's fine. We still love it. I've just heard nothing but good things about this book. I saw that it was very popular on TikTok, which normally makes me skeptical, but however, I love ravens and crows, and this is like fantasy dark academia, which I love. The font is deliciously large. So excited for that one. And then the last one that I currently have, it's actually a nonfiction book, and it's called Women and Girls on the Autism Spectrum. And it's really cool because it goes through so many different stages of life, and it has a lot of people who share their personal experiences, which I think is just very cool and valuable, and I'm excited to read this. And the author is autistic herself and specializes in assessing autistic females and those with comorbid profiles of autism and ADHD. That's it. Those are the books I have so far. I'll show you the other books when they get here. Maybe I'll do a little unboxing for you. But yeah, welcome to the vlog. Please don't fall. I have finished reading Little Fires Everywhere. Brief moment to complain about books that have this weird partial cover. Nobody likes this. This book was so good. It is somehow over 300 pages despite being so tiny, but I could not stop reading it. It was really, really good. I actually did not know anything about this going in, but it very much examines motherhood through multiple different lenses and just family and relationships, and it was just really fascinating. It takes place in 1997, which is the year that I was born. I think that this book really benefited from not having cell phones and social media and stuff, allowed for there to be more mystery in certain aspects of what's going on. I think that Mia's story was my favorite to read, and I really liked the way that this was written. It follows multiple people's perspectives, but kind of jumps around within the chapters. It's not like one chapter is this person's perspective, one chapter is another person's perspective. I didn't know anything about it going in, and if somehow you've made it to this point also not knowing anything about it, I feel like going in just without anything is a good way to experience this book. So I'm not gonna give you a whole synopsis, but definitely really, really good. Thank you to everyone who recommended this to me. That means that now I get to put this back on my shelf and I get to pick out my next book. Let's go over there. I've been doing this thing where I try to randomly pick my next book. Last time I asked Miles to randomly say a number, and then I picked the book based off of that.
You need a number?
Yeah.
All right. Annie?
Yeah.
72!
Okay, I feel like that might be a nonfiction book, and if it is, I'm not gonna read it. This is my list of my entire physical TBR. And some of them are rereads also. But let's see, 72. Oh, it's kind of long. Okay, hang on, let's see. Okay, so number 72 was Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. And I mean, I have been wanting to read this for a while. It's like 528 pages.
I don't make the rules, I just guess the numbers.
Yeah. Am I in the mood for this right now? That's the problem with being a mood reader. I want to read all of these. I'm just waiting for the right time. Is it the right time? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna read this. I need to reorganize this stack of books. But yeah, my next book is gonna be Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. Oh, coffee is necessary. The next part of my book haul arrived in the mail. It's a big box for 4 books. Book number 1, Model Home by Rivers Solomon. I haven't read anything by Rivers Solomon, but I've had their books on my list for a long time. This cover feels very matte, but not like scratchy. Sometimes the matte covers have like a grainy texture to them. In this one, it doesn't feel smooth exactly, but it feels very nice. It's a haunted house book. You might be starting to sense a theme. It's that I love haunted houses. I've heard this is a slightly different take on a haunted house and more of a like introspectively haunted. That doesn't make any sense. I'm so excited for that one. Completely opposite direction. We have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. There's a little cat with wings. This one is so popular. I think this is one that's been really popular on TikTok as well, but I've heard it's genuinely really good and very cozy fantasy. I just reread all of the Legends and Lattes books in order to read the new one, and I just love those books so much. I love cozy fantasy, and I'm hoping that this will be my vibe of cozy fantasy as well. The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. I've wanted to read this book for so long, so I'm very excited to have my own physical copy. This is also a gothic book, probably haunted house, I'm thinking. It is called The Hacienda. I just love books that have houses in them. This also kind of has a house, but it's a spell shop instead of a house. But I've never read anything by Isabel Cañas, and all of her books sound so fascinating to me. I also really want to read The Vampires of El Norte and The Death of Alba Diaz. Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. And then last one, Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. Look how gorgeous that is. Like, hello? I believe this book is about a woman who finds a sentient sword. I have 2 books by T. Kingfisher on my shelves that I have not read. I've never read a T. Kingfisher book, and yet I have purchased another one. I'm so excited. I love books so much. Bye. Howdy. I am about halfway through Middle Game by Seanan McGuire, and I have some thoughts. I think, like, at first, this book was making me feel kind of stupid. And I'm okay with books that are supposed to confuse you. It just really depends on if the book is confusing because it's intentional, if the book being confusing is part of how the book is telling the story. Like, for example, the Locked Tomb series, I love those books. They are all very confusing, especially Harrow the Ninth, but Harrow the Ninth is my favorite book in that series. There have also been books where I've read them and been like, I don't know what the hell is going on, and I mean that in a negative way. But this is leaning towards, I don't know what the hell is going on, and meaning it in a positive way. I love Roger and Dodger. At first, the idea of two psychic twins with matching names kind of like gave me the ick. Now, I love Roger and Dodger. I've really enjoyed their perspectives. So we get mostly Roger and Dodger's perspectives, and then also the perspective of these like scientists, alchemists. The parts from the perspective of the alchemists, I feel like I don't really know what's happening. They keep talking about the improbable road. I don't understand what that is, but I don't think I'm supposed to. I think it's gonna get explained. Not entirely sure what's going on, but I don't think I'm supposed to be, so I think it's okay. I also don't want to talk about it too much because this book has the vibe that anything I say has the potential to be a spoiler. Like, I already feel like I've said too much. I don't know if I'll continue with the series. We'll see. It's probably not going to be a high priority for me, but we'll see how this ends because you never know. But yes, right now my plans for the rest of the night are I'm going to keep reading Middle Game, and then Miles and I are going to watch the second to last episode of Stranger Things. We have been working our way through that over the last week. We got Netflix specifically just to watch Stranger Things, and then I'm probably gonna cancel it afterwards because we are not really big streaming service people anymore. I'm gonna go eat some food. I'm so hungry. Hello. It's another day. It's so beautiful and sunny today also. I just took a shower. My hair is damp. I've been reading Middle Game. I'm so sucked into this book now. I'm about 2/3 of the way through, I think, and I'm totally in it now. I still don't know how to talk about it though. Like, I really truly don't know like what I'm allowed to say and what is going to be too much information. I'm so scared of spoiling things. So I really don't want to give any details, but I'm loving it. It's really good. There was a really big time jump that just happened, and I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. Last night, I could not stop reading it to the point that I was trying to read while I was washing my face and brushing my teeth. Yeah, I'm excited to be enjoying this so much. I'm on page 366 out of 528. I'm really hoping I can finish this today. Also have an update, which is that my last 3 books came in the mail. This video is honestly more of a book haul than a vlog, if I'm being totally honest. Number 1 is The Tale of the Last Flower Bride. Why is that so hard for me to say? The Tale of the Last Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. Finally got it. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be. So I'm pretty sure this is like a gothic fairy tale-esque book about 2 people, a woman and a man, and they get married, and she tells him, okay, I'll marry you, but only if you promise never to look into my past, ever. And they have to move back to her childhood home for some reason, and he can't help but start unearthing things. So we'll see what happens. And then Housemate by Emma Copley Eisenberg is the next one. I love this cover. On the front it says, a wise, beautiful, and gorgeously gay exploration of America, art, and the rugged vast country that is love itself. I mean, what more can you want? It is about 2 queer women who are housemates, but then they end up going on a road trip together and discovering themselves. I think it's kind of coming of age, found family-esque, and I know that they're both artists also. Lastly, I have Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I love this cover of Cackle so much more than the other one. This book is about a woman who her life is pretty much falling apart. I'm pretty sure she lost her job and also got dumped, and she's not feeling her best. and then she meets this random woman who may or may not be a witch, and who may or may not be willing to help her fix her life. Maybe? Okay, well, my camera's about to die, so I'm gonna go put these books back and read some middle game, and I'll keep you updated on how this goes. I really want to try to finish it tonight because I have other things I want to do this weekend, which is mostly play Animal Crossing. And I also want to spin my wheel and see what book it chooses for me to read next. I think I'm going to spin the wheel 3 times and then pick one out of those 3 books, because I don't like being forced into anything, and if I feel like I have no options at all, it'll make me resent the choice that it did pick for me. So best for everyone if I get to spin 3 times, boop, 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 and then choose out of those 3 which one I want to read. Also because I'm so scared that it's going to pick The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. I just do not want to read that right now. Anyway, I will check back in with you later on. I finished middle game just a minute ago. It was so good, really good. I feel like this is like a 5-star book in terms of very well written, everything comes together really well. Like 4.5 stars in terms of I just wanted to feel a little bit more. I loved reading it, couldn't wait to find out what happened. I loved the characters so much, but when it came to the end and everything started wrapping up, and I just didn't feel everything that I wanted. So it's like a 4.5, but it's so good. Loved this. Very excited about it because I wasn't sure if I was going to, and I did. Now I get to put it on my shelf, and I also get to pick out my next book, which I'm very excited to spin my wheel and see what happens. So I'm gonna go put this book back. The time has come. I'm going to be spinning the wheel. I'm really excited. Okay, I'm gonna spin it 3 times, and then I'm gonna pick what my next book is gonna be. So number 1 is Mrs. Dalloway. Okay. That's cool. I do want to read Mrs. Dalloway. I've had that book on my shelf for a while, so it would be fun to read, and it's very different from my last book, so it does feel like kind of a palate cleanser. Let's see what is next. Unnatural Magic. That book has I've had that book since high school, I'm pretty sure. All I really know about it is that it's a fantasy book, and I think the main character might be like a troll or something. That would be a good one. That'd be a good one to finally check off the list. Okay, let's see what's next. Ta-da! I have some questions for you. Oh, okay. I have some questions for you. I think is kind of more of a thriller. I got that one pretty recently, within the last few months, so that could be cool. I believe it's like a thriller book that has some true crime sort of vibes, but it's fictional. Okay. Mrs. Dalloway, Unnatural Magic, or I have some questions for you. I'm going to grab those books and we can make our decision together. Okay. I've retrieved the books. They are drastically different in size. So immediately I'm thinking Mrs. Dalloway might be cool because it's so short compared to the other 2. I just read a really giant book. This book is less than 200 pages. I feel like I could probably get through this pretty fast, and it would be a nice palate cleanser from reading a big fantasy. I think I might choose this one, but I still want to talk about the others. Unnatural Magic by C.M. Wagner. So this is a debut fantasy. There's a magic school. Okay, yeah, one of the characters is a troll. That's fun. I don't think I'm going to pick this one right now, just because I just read a big, tasty fantasy, and I am wanting to mix it up a little bit. And then I have some questions for you by Rebecca Mackay. Okay, yeah, it's like a crime story. Okay, yeah, she's basically trying to solve the crime of the murder of her former college roommate. Sounds really good. I feel like I've already decided that I want Mrs. Dalloway to be my next read, which is funny. So the first book that I got on the spinny wheel ends up being the book that I pick. It's like, what, did I need to choose 3? I don't know. I like to have the illusion of choice. So this is what we're going with. It smells like an old book, which I love. good. I had a really good day. I actually went out and met up with my cousin and we walked around in Portland. I tried to sell some of my clothes to Buffalo Exchange, but they only took one thing. But then I used the money from that one thing to buy a cute journal. Let me go grab it. It's like this really cute little journal with a fabric cover. It's like cross-stitched on the front. Also, really want to get into junk journaling, and I need a blank notebook for that. It does have lined pages, but I feel like any journal works for junk journaling, so I might give that a shot for that, and that'll be really cool. I am still only like 20-ish pages into Mrs. Dalloway. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. I feel like the Brittany Broski meme where she drinks kombucha and she's like, maybe, but maybe not. Nothing is happening. That's okay. Like, that's part of the reason why I wanted to read this, is because I know this is kind of like a stream of consciousness book about a woman who is kind of like going through her day as she's preparing for a party that she's throwing. The red flags are, it's about rich people. It's very hit or miss for me. Sometimes I find that to be very interesting. Sometimes I'm like, shut up. I like the way it's written a lot. It does seem like it's kind of jumping perspective a little bit, which I wasn't expecting it to do. There was one page that had some really pretty lines on it, where she was talking about flowers. I always love descriptions of nature and plants, and that's just like 10 out of 10 for me. And now that I'm home, I mean, I would like to read more Mrs. Dalloway. I'd like to make more progress because I think this might be a book where I need to be reading something else at the same time. I do that a lot with classic literature, where I will be reading it while also having a more easy to read fiction book that I can jump to. All of the books that I'm reading right now are like brain on books, and so I feel like I need to have a brain off book to like intersperse with them. Oh, very rude. Oh no! Yeah, I just need to be not in.
There you go. Good boy.
He's so good. I wasn't even trying at all, is the thing. Hello, baby. Oh, he's looking at me with so much love and I'm just ignoring him. I love you, cutie.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
I'm in what? You're in first! Hello. I've read a bit more. I'm now about halfway through. I am starting to like it a little bit more. I think I just had to adjust to the way that it's written. So I thought this was all following Mrs. Dalloway, Clarissa Dalloway, throughout her day. It is not just her, it actually switches perspective multiple times. I like that this book is following protagonist that isn't like in their mid-20s, because I feel like so many books are just about people in their 20s, and she is 52, and I love that she's 52. So I am liking it. I heard people say that this book was boring, and I assumed that it was because we just like follow her as she goes about her day. It is much more like stream of consciousness, like people's thoughts. They're not thinking specifically just about what is happening around them. They are thinking about their past and like things that happened and their relationships with others. Like we follow this guy whose name I can't remember right now, who was friends with Clarissa when they were younger and they were engaged. And we get the perspective of this young couple who is in a park. That's one thing, is that there are no chapters. We kind of just jump around, and it's kind of hard to tell sometimes when we have switched to another person. Yeah, there are some really beautiful lines. I have like a few of them dog-eared. There have been at least 3 times in this book so far where someone has described their emotions like a bird that just took flight from a small branch. Glad I stuck with it. My goal is definitely to try to finish this by tomorrow, or finish it tomorrow, because I don't have to work tomorrow. Tee-hee. Anyways, that's what I wanted to tell you about this. Today's been kind of a weird day. My eye is having a problem. But anyway, I finished reading Mrs. Dalloway, and I really liked it. I actually have some tabs in here. Once I started underlining stuff, I felt like I was really in it, was really paying attention to the story more, and it was nice to kind of take it a little bit slower. I guess I still read this in 3 days. I like the way that Virginia Woolf portrays human consciousness, I guess. It's really interesting. I like the way that we get kind of pulled back in time. They're people are reminiscing and thinking about the past, and then suddenly they will notice something in the present that kind of brings you as a reader back to the present day space. I also really like the way that time is mentioned throughout the book, with clocks chiming and stuff, so you get a sense of when things are happening. In the back, there's some notes or discussion points, and it mentions that the clock strikes 12 o'clock noon at exactly the midpoint of the novel, and I just think that's a cool detail. I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. I wound up giving it 4 stars, 4.25 maybe, because it's a little above a 4-star, I think. Yeah, I am really glad that I read this. I did have kind of a harder time keeping track of some of the characters. They were just a lot. It's probably the last you'll hear from me tonight. Today was not a bad day. We went out to Goodwill. I got a cool sweater, and I got a portable CD player, which I haven't tried out yet. I'm really hoping that it works. Anyway, I gotta go because my camera's gonna die. I want to talk to you about Before the Devil Knows You're Here, which I am currently reading. I am halfway through-ish. Hello. It is Fiona of April. There was footage of me spinning the wheel and getting this book as my next book, but I have no clue where that footage is. I cannot find it. I think it may have gotten not uploaded to my computer and then deleted from the SD card. So it's gone. I did spin the wheel and I did pick out that book. I hope I tell you what it's about. And if not, I'll be popping back in. Yep. Yeah, this is very good. I really think that the author's descriptions are very beautiful. There's kind of a lyrical way of writing that she has. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the author's first book or not. It is feeling a little bit the descriptions can be so beautiful, and then the dialogue feels very young, which is not a bad thing at all. But it is kind of I don't want to say jarring because that seems too harsh, but it is something that I noticed. We are about halfway through and not a lot has happened. We've been going back and forth in different perspectives between Catalina and John, who is essentially Johnny Appleseed, but he's mostly known as the Man of Sap or the Seed Man. And Catalina is hunting him down to rescue her younger brother. This is all in the description, so it's not a spoiler. And she meets up this guy named Paul, who is a lumberjack, who I'm 99.99% sure is supposed to be Paul Bunyan from American legend. The only thing I really know about Paul Bunyan, when I was a kid, my parents and I went to the Redwood Forest, and there was a giant, humongous statue of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. So when I picture Paul Bunyan, I'm picturing humongously tall, bearded lumberjack man and a large blue ox. But that is not who this is. This is just a kid named Paul who happens to be a lumberjack and who seems very salty about how he can't read very well. Speculation, but he really seems to hate books for some reason. So, did I just walk into some Paul Bunyan fan fiction? Because that is a little teensy bit what it is starting to feel like. So far she's caught a glimpse of his abs and she was like, oh my. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it won't be a romance. I feel like I don't really want it to be a romance, but also this isn't about what I want. This is about, I don't even know. So I'm not disliking it. It's fun. It's very quick to read. I've been kind of busy the last couple days. Otherwise, I probably would have finished this by now. But yes, I'm getting my bangs trimmed today by Miles. Yay, everyone say thank you, Miles, for trimming my bangs.
You're welcome.
And then, aside from that, I'm just gonna chill at home and read. It's the start of my weekend. And I'm really hoping to end this vlog today, so hopefully I can. right, it's the next day. Officially, my eyeballs have healed and I can wear eyeliner again. And I know it's such a silly thing, but it just makes me feel more like me. I don't feel as much like me when I can't wear it. And so I'm feeling very happy. And I finished this book last night. This book was not bad. It was not a bad book. What I liked about it, I really, really liked, but there were just a few things that didn't quite do it for me. I don't think it's because it's young adult, because there are lots of young adult books that I have read and loved and that I feel go much deeper than this one. I think that is pretty much my main complaint, is just that I really liked everything that was there. I just felt like it was all a bit more surface level than I typically like. There was some really interesting world building, specifically like some sort of fantasy elements and different creatures that we talk about very briefly, but that's never explored. Like, we don't really get much world building in terms of that, and it feels kind of like a bummer to just like bring up nothing really but a brief description of them. Like, we don't really know how this world works. It's very clearly got some fantasy sort of stuff going on, but we just don't really dive deeper into that. I also really liked how the main character wrote poetry, but again, like, we don't really talk about her poetry very much. We don't really get to see any of it, and also the romance just felt really unnecessary to me. I did think it was cute, like I didn't hate it, but not every book needs to have a romance. I feel like this book would have changed, like, not at all. It would have made no difference if there had been a romance or not. Like, it just did not need to be there. There is like an exploration of grief, and the main character, Catalina, like, she has feelings, but we don't really explore them much. The whole first half of the book, the whole like 2/3 beginning of the book takes place over the course of like a couple of days, and then after that the final third of the book takes place over the course of 2 months, and that was a little disorienting for me. There were some very beautiful descriptions, but I guess maybe a lot more telling than showing, which is something I typically don't enjoy. But that being said, like, it is gorgeous. I love the cover. I did like it, like I didn't dislike it. I liked the parts, the horror parts, like I thought that was really well done. And I think like I would probably read another book by this author. I just feel like it all just kind of scratched the surface, and I wish that we could have gone deeper. Those are my thoughts about that. I gave this 3 stars. It's a solid 3. I wouldn't like dissuade someone from reading it, but it definitely wouldn't be like my first pick as a recommendation. And I guess that means that we're done with the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this vlog, that you enjoyed being here with me over these last few days. I guess the last week, pretty much. I had a lot of fun doing this. It's, you know, we'll see how it all comes together. I kind of just needed to like rip the band-aid off and get back into it. I've been missing filming a lot, and I'm really hoping that this year I can be a little bit more consistent with it. Hopefully my entire life won't be falling apart multiple times over and over again. Fingers crossed that that won't be happening. Crossing literally all of my fingers and arms. I just want to live, man. Please. Thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything good that you have read so far this year. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!